If you're a fool about hospitality, ask 100 questions. It will help you. तो सेल्स का काम होता है बिजनेस लाना, रेवेन्यू मैनेजमेंट का काम होता है किसी भी 5 स्टार होटल को 5 स्टार बने रहने देना. You will say I'm a bad founder, I'm a bad director, but you will never say I'm a bad CRO. You guys are more smarter than I thought. You will turn into a disaster if you don't take this information seriously. One thing that I have realized that throughout my career, a lot of people came and said hospitality as an industry is low paying, should not get salaries, or there is slow growth. That's not the case. And trust me, with so many brands coming in, does anyone know how many married hotels are there in India?
So right now there are 540.
In India? Wrong. Any guesses? Nothing. So there are more than 150 hotels right now, and they are signing more. By end of 2026, they will have 250 hotels. That's the base of India right now. And the biggest problem is that with these many hotels coming in, we will be short of employees. Yeah. Okay. So there is huge scope right now. So if you have ever had any doubt on understanding hospitality as industry, this is the time, or and make it big. And I think revenue management, why I think it is crucial for you to understand one department which is not a mainstream syllabus for anyone to study. Okay, and now that it was for me. So every time you see a revenue manager, this guy probably have given 7-8 years in the industry to become what he is, from IIHM background to anyone else. So it requires a lot of time. But today, with a lot of technology, softwares and everything in place, you will see anyone at the age of 22, 23 becoming revenue managers. All that is required is that you understand what the fundamental of revenue management is. So I'm not going to give you a thesis or gyan on revenue management, but I will like you to understand it as basic as it is. And once you get it, you will find interesting, and then you will learn by everything is already present online, and you can learn all the stats, number, how to French it out, do a logical information systems. So does anyone know why revenue management exists in hotels?
To make sure that most of the funds that are coming in the hotel, gets into the particular department. So there's like mismanagement or misuse of the amount that is coming in.
So let's go back to the days where hotel used to sell like MRP pricing. Okay, so there was one rack rate, and you go in and it was already printed. So if you want deluxe room, this is the price. If you want suite room, this is the price. And at the same point of time, when we used to travel to airlines, the prices was that if you book early, you get low price. If you book on the last moment, you get high price. So it was on demand and supply. Hotel was not on demand and supply. The hotel took very long time to understand revenue management is for their need. So I can name a brand where I worked, and it was against the core policy to do a revenue management. And I was the first revenue manager. It was IG Group, the parent company of Barbecue Nation. So they find it not logical to give different price to different people staying in the same room. And that was their ideology. But it changed, and every hotel has to change. So that is becoming the mainstream department, right? So whether you are front office, you are housekeeping, you are F&B, you are chef, if there is a revenue meeting and you are an HOD, you have to sit in there. So you have to go through revenue manager in your life when you work in a hotel. And this guy has connection to all of you because he works for total hotel revenue map. What is revenue management? So the definition that a lot of people will tell you, and which is written, is basically to sell the right product at right place, at right time, the right channel. So it is very old definition, but technology, it has changed now. It is about taking the right decision at right time, at right place, through right channel, doing the analysis of the data. One is your internal, other one is your external. Okay, and the internal data is your hotel data, and external data is your, and there's a third type of things. When you see Marriott Hotel doing a strategy saying, we will open 30 hotels in India, who does that? So they have this data numbers, how much demand is surging, how much demand will come in 3, 4, 5 years through the investment that is happening in India. So revenue management is not looking at the number and reading it out for your GM, for your front office, RDMs. Revenue management is for you to understand where these numbers come from and what does it mean. So anyone and everyone who want to get the future in revenue management, it's really fast. So if you get into a revenue management program, in 2.5 years, you become assistant revenue manager and then revenue manager, and revenue managers are expensive. The salaries are high. Okay. And the growth is huge while getting. So generally in any of the hotel, how many front office staff are there? Any guessing number? एक 5-star होटल में 200 कमरे में कितने फ्रंट ऑफिस लोग होते हैं? 25.
20 to 30.
आप किसी में GM बनना है? Correct. How many in front office? And same goes with every department. कितने revenue manager होते हैं होटल में? So revenue manager is one. And then you have IIHM and all the others. So entire department consists of 3-4 people. So if you talk about Bangalore as a cluster for Marriott, there are 2 to 12 people for 14 hotels. Okay. So now if so many hotels are opening, so many more revenue managers will be required. And just because it is not a mainstream syllabus course for you, a lot of people between your own self have to take a step to a program environment or generate an interest for it. So, किसी को पता है revenue management में जाते कैसे? So what you have to do to get into revenue management? नहीं पता किसी को नहीं. Okay. So see, the start happens through reservations and front office because you need to know the reports first. If you are someone who can see numbers, sit in front of computers for 7-8 hours, you can start looking yourself to become a revenue manager. But if you are someone who is not good with numbers, I think that is the interest that someone has to develop if they want to get into revenue as a stream. And one lesson I think I would like to part to you if you want to become a good revenue manager, it is you at the age of 25 standing in front of a GM who has 35 years of experience and is 48, 46 years of age. And if he tells you that I think this is going to happen for the occupancy or my gut feelings, I know the market. At the age of 23, 24, you should have that confidence. My data says that this year at this month, the forecast will be lower than 20%. And it is the data that gives you confidence because that's the truth. So revenue managers only work in projects, which is black and white, 0 and 1. So there is no gray areas for anyone. So there is no stories. And the KPIs for revenue managers are, when you work there, you have to forecast that next month, this will be the revenue that is going to happen. So आपने अगर बोला कि अगले महीने 100 crore रुपए इनका revenue होगा, and you will be judged on your forecast. If it is 5 to 10% plus minus, that's okay. Otherwise, you're not a good revenue manager. Okay. So looking at gut feeling, anyone can say, पिछले साल 2 crore हुआ था, इस बार 2.5 होगा, looking at pickup. But when you see the data, you are someone who will do the exact forecasting. Forecasting क्यों करते हैं? किसी को पता है? Does anyone know why we do a forecasting in hotel?
Okay, so like when we use forecasting in hotels, it is in the context that we are prepared for any unforeseen thing. Like if the revenue increases or if we are opening more properties, then we need to acquire the staff accordingly or distribute the human resources accordingly, and also allocate the different resources like monetary resources, etc.
Great. I was not expecting, but it's just bang on. We do forecasting so that we can gladly return there. So if you know how much money you're making, you know exactly how much you have to spend next month. If you have to buy certain things and accommodation, or you have to renovate your hotel, you exactly know which months you have to put in money. So forecasting is important. And for forecasting, you need to learn all the numbers. You need to understand the data and also the future data. So there are 2 kinds of data that you need to study, look at. One is your past data, and another one is your future data. So these are small things. I can't just give you entire guts of the story in just 30-40 minutes. In details, I think it will take experience to get out of this. But these are few points. If you note it down and say that you start working on this, you can become a great revenue manager. And possibilities are endless. So like I said, the revenue manager goes and work in a 5-star hotel, 4-star hotel, 3-star hotel, doesn't have a capacity to afford a revenue manager because right now there are less number of revenue managers in India per personality, and that's the reason there is a lot of cluster that has been made. So if you look into the future, it is great. And I would like to introduce you to a journey where we created Retvens. When I did job for 15, 16 years, I was good at revenue management, came out, COVID came in. I think at that point of time, no one wanted to get into hospitality and hotels because they thought this is the business which was impacted most and they will be never be safe. And at that point of time, I started company participating and I said, okay, let's open my own hotel. Why I was CRO of Saji Group. So when I used to bring in the hotel and we were the people who used to run it. And we realized this very early stage that every hotel which is success right now is run by the team of the hotel. So we came out, we did 6 hotels. And then after 6 hotels, realized that I have to do certain bigger tasks as well because hospitality has not gone too off. And then realized 3-star, 4-star hotel require revenue management, but they can't afford it. And there is not much has been done around it. So we created a company called as Retvens. And we started giving revenue management as a service, to 3-star, 4-star hotels. And this grew so much that we have more than 150 hotels currently working with us on revenue management and marketing. And we are present in 5 countries right now. So yes, you can look at in this industry that there's a lot more for people who want to start business in this industry as well. So I think you guys should have a lot of ideas because day in and day out you study hospitality, you are in this business and you are meeting a lot of people, faculty like me, to the teachers that they are teaching you. You should be the one who should generate a lot of ideas for hospitality and, in later on stage when you find right time, right people, work on it. Because today there are a lot of people who are working. They are in the industry. They know the pain point. And there is less amount of people who are joining, coming out and doing any startup in hospitality. Okay. So I was talking to Mambira that we knew Cremica came out and become an international brand. So if you go to Dubai airport, you will find Cremica Casto. And this was a company supplying shampoo, conditioners to the hotel with crores. And they are huge right now. So there is this north scope. Okay. So I think there's a video that these guys want to make to bore you. And should I not be asking more questions to you?
तो इस इंडस्ट्री में कुछ करना था. तो मेरे को जो सबसे अच्छा आता था वो था रेवेन्यू मैनेजमेंट मार्केटिंग. हमने उससे छोटा सा बिजनेस शुरू किया. मैंने बड़े शहर देखे, मैंने बहुत देश देखे, विदेश देखे, पर इंडिया में की जो ग्रोथ की रफ्तार है वो कहीं और नहीं है. सारे जो छोटे होटल होते हैं, तो अगर इंडिया में अगर हम बात करें तो 30 लाख कमरे हैं, जिसमें से सिर्फ 3 लाख कमरे ब्रांडेड है, जो बड़े ब्रांड आप देखते हो. युवाओं के लिए बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटी है. हमारे से पहले की जनरेशन को नौकरी ढूंढने में दिक्कत होती थी. आज हमें एम्प्लॉय ढूंढने में दिक्कत होती है. जितनी भी परेशानी, दिक्कत इस इंडस्ट्री को हो, हम अपनी तरफ से उसको कितना सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, यही प्रयास है हमारा और यही रहेगा आगे. थैंक यू.
So this is what we made in 1.5 years. And this is a new office on 1st of August we launched. And with this office and the number of team that we have, we become the world largest film vendor car in 1.5 years. So I'll not bore you more. And let's have fun part here. बहुत सारी serious बातें कर दी. The only thing that I will let you know is know the fundamentals and basics of what you're doing. And ask questions. And this is the serious line that this is a takeaway for you. So if I don't know about revenue management, which I didn't, I ask questions. If you're a fool about hospitality, ask 100 questions, you will be 100% intelligent about the industry. I didn't know what is CP, what is AP, what is MAP, मेरे को नहीं पता था. And now, I do a lot of podcasts with a lot of people. Whenever you have time, go on YouTube, listen to these people. There's a lot of content on hospitality right now which is missing. You want to create, you create, but go and watch it. It will help you. It will make you more aware. A lot of time you will have opportunity in front of you where you would not see it because you're not aware. So I offer you to ask as many questions as you want, whatever, how foolish, how silly it can look like. Ask me a question. I'm here for 15 more minutes. Over to you guys. Anyone has any question on revenue management, on marketing, on anything that you want to know? Or how to build a hospitality business if anyone is interested. Any of these? Can you get?
Yes, sir. So I had a question that you mentioned one of the characteristics to be good with the numbers. Any more characteristics that are required in order to be a successful revenue manager?
As I told you, require a lot of confidence. You will be faced to the people who have 15, 20 years of experience, 10 years older to you, telling you that they have been in this industry for very long and they know what is right and wrong. But when you have a number in front of you, that number should give you so much confidence that you can do justice to it. And I'll give you one example to your answer to sustain this. I opened Marriott Indore. I was a pre-opening revenue manager for them. And I was clustered looking after Fairfield and Marriott Indore both. So Marriott was struggling because of the poor policy management in terms of when you open up the hotel, you don't know how city will move. So एक होटल साइन जब होता है 5 साल पहले, फिर उसकी प्रोडक्शन होती है, जब तक होटल बनता है कुछ डिलेज होते हैं, प्रोडक्शन चेंज होती है, शहर में इम्बैलेंस है, पॉलिटिकल इम्बैलेंस होटल नहीं चलेगा ज़्यादा. So they pick up a business at the rate of 1,300 rupees for Marriott, and it was what IIHM commercial vehicle. And that was my sales guy. So sales का काम होता है business लाना, revenue management का काम होता है किसी भी 5-star होटल को 5-star बने रहने देना. Okay, so I said, looking at the price and all the systems, I said, this business should not come to us, it should go to Fairfield. And then they said, we don't have business, what to do? It is the low season and we have to pay the costs itself. And then we realized, I wrote an email to corporate office saying that this business was not approved by me because at zone level, you need to understand, is there business in market? Do you pick up this business or not? That your confidence should be there. And then area team came in and then we did the entire study and we found out that this business should not be taken. So that was GM's decision and there was my decision. I stood on it. I said, I will not approve this. If you want to still take the group, please go ahead and take it. I will write an email. Then I am not approving it. So a lot of time as a revenue manager, you will be in a situation in real life where there will be a lot of pressure. ये group लेना है, ये जान पहचान का है. But you are the one who is a neutral in your own domain because you are responsible for the entire of the hotel. Your KPIs will be RevPAR and GOP of the hotel. So yeah, you got your answer?
Sir, but what were the factors that made you choose that the business is not for that particular property and should go to any other property?
So yeah, there's constant study that you do. That's what I'm saying, that you have to be confident that you know your numbers and your numbers are telling you the truth. And so that you have to have the analysis brain that comes with looking at numbers for a very long time.
So I have a question that after creating the AI, it will become a disaster for the revenue part or it will help to enhance our work? Because as we all know, human can be do mistakes, but computer is accurate more than a human.
So why you say disaster? The job will be gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. So do you remember when electricity came in, how many jobs gone? So उसके पहले ना राजाओं के घर में दिया जलाने के लिए एक आदमी होता था, उसकी सैलरी पे की जाती थी. And the electricity have wiped it out. जब matches होते थे तब लाटिन लेके लोग घूमते थे. So every time there is a new technology. So I just did a podcast with the founder of Easy Techno6 who serves 80,000 hotel almost on this PMS software, and they have been recently purchased by a Korean company, Uneta. So he told me, Prashant, that after every 10 years there is huge technical evolution that happens. And because now it will be all technical because हम industry age से बाहर आ चुके हैं, technology age से बाहर आ चुके हैं, now it will be AI and everything else will go come. So yeah, I think जितनी jobs जाएंगी उससे ज़्यादा create होगी. So I remember this that when I was in Redison, revenue management was not done on a revenue management hotel software. So उसको RMS बोलते हैं. So we used to work on Excels, and that point of time Excels बहुत important होती थी. So today if you work in a hotel where it is no RMS, you need to know Excels very well. So Microsoft Excels पे जादू आना चाहिए आप. But with AI coming in, do you think that you should know Excel? It will be done, right? So I'll tell you, in my company, we've sent reports and it is all automated, no human interaction. We did it already. So there is revenue reports, there pickup report, because I'm IT background, I've told you, remember this line, anything that you do on computer can be done by computer one day. You have to just figure it out. So like these people, when they do video editing, it is now happening because video editing is happening over a computer. So whatever you do on computer can do it side. So now Excel is not required. So what is required is you understanding what computer is trying to say to you. So more data scientists will be required. So these will be the future jobs for the hotel. And if you are good with numbers, looking at reports will be made by someone else. But for human interaction, for me as a general manager, you would come and tell me, looking at all of this data, all of this recommendation, I think we should be doing this for the hotel. And that is your assistant. AI is your assistant. It's not going to take your job. हाँ, उनकी नौकरी जरूर जाएगी जो smart नहीं होंगे और door पे तक. So to give you example of this, I had few interns and people working in my company, and I always came and said that start taking meeting, build the communication system within yourself that you can speak to clients, speak to owners, explain them these reports. But eventually turned out that they were very much hardworking and they continued making good reports. And I said, one day I walked into office and I said, who is the best making in reports? Someone said, I am. I said, 1 month down the line, you will not be required to make reports because we are automated. So change yourself right now because yes, AI is coming. It is not disaster, but it is right now as an information to you. You will turn into a disaster if you don't take this information seriously. Okay. So it will create more jobs to answer this and so on, but different kind of jobs. Any more questions?
How did you manage your funding for the startup?
So, see, I'll tell you the thing. I've done job for 16, 17 years, almost 15 years. Then I already did a startup where I had to exit. And when you start a service company, so you don't require an infrastructure to build. Which means if I have to start a factory, I will require a factory money to be built. But to start revenue management, I have to reach out to get one client and I will get the money. So imagine I reach out to you and I said, I will do your revenue management. You are paying me a monthly thing. And we kept on scaling this till the time we reached to the amount. And that is the reason it took me 1.5 years to come to 120 people seater office and to create everything. If it was funding, I should have created in like 3-4 months already. So yeah, it is a slow process, but you can make it quick by maximizing what you do best. So we were in revenue management, we knew we can do best. And that's the reason we kept on getting more clients, and this came as a domino effect. So yeah, till now we have not required funding, but now we are getting into other domains. So you have seen Rown, which is a social app for only hoteliers. So what we are doing is we are bringing everyone on one platform. The reason is in hospitality, there is one common word that we always carry with ourselves. Ask to anyone, any of your friend, any senior who's working, that is called buzzard. They're always in this. And that is what gives you a disconnect from your peer, from your friends, from your, आप एक बार मैरिट में काम करोगे, आपके 15 दोस्त होंगे, उसके बाद आप IIHM में जाते हो, probably आप उनसे 2 साल तक बात नहीं कर रहे. And this happened to me, to a lot of other people as well. And then I realized that I know so many less people still spending 16 years in this industry. So I said, let's do the podcast, let's talk to them. And yeah, and this is a real problem. So we created an app for everyone and we are first time changing the world for hospitality, saying that you don't have to post saying that you require front office manager. I think it's time that you guys should take power because this industry is growing and we have less number of people working. I would encourage if you can go out and ask your friends to join hospitality, because this is the future. This is most humane industry right now, less impacted by technology. हम RFID से दरवाज़ा खोल के बहुत प्राउड फील करते हैं. इंडिया यूपीआई में पेमेंट कर रहा है. बहुत सारी चीज़ें बहुत सारी इंडस्ट्री में हो चुकी हैं. आज आप पिज़्ज़ा डिलीवरी कर सकते हो, इतनी टेक्नोलॉजी पहुंच चुकी है. बट होटल में टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत कम है. किसी को याद है कि ओपरा के कितने वर्जन आए? ये तो पता होगा. 5 पॉइंट. एंड्रॉयड कितने पे चल रहा है सर? एंड्रॉयड का वर्जन कौन सा? कौन सा? ओके नाइस. आईफोन का 15 आने वाला है एंड 17 iOS 17 आने वाला है. न्यू आईफोन आने वाला है. हर साल एक नया फ़ोन आता है विच इज़ प्रोडक्ट, और हर साल एक नया सॉफ्टवेयर अपग्रेड है. यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाउ बैकवर्ड वी आर व्हेन इट कम्स टू टेक्नोलॉजी. सो या तुम्हारा AI का क्वेश्चन बहुत टाइम लगेगा. To give you one hospitality information, Hyatt used to use a software called Prio, Price Revenue Inventory Optimization. That was their own proprietary RMS. पर hospitality company है. IT में हर रोज़ नया इन्वेंशन तो नहीं कर सकती, पर IT में तो रोज़ हो रहा है. So they have dropped Prio, जिसमें करोड़ों लगा के उन्होंने बनाया था, and now they are going to take ideas because that's the RMS company which work on ताज उसको यूज़ करता है, IG उसको यूज़ करता है, आप Hyatt भी उसको यूज़ करेगा. Yeah, so I think funding is not the solution. If you know what you're doing and you are into a service industry, you don't require a really capital to build things. But this is the quick business. If you know, if you're good at giving any of the service, you can make a business.
Anyone?
Yes, sir. What is the concept of flavor?
So, बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है. And I give you ask. Why play hotel? बनाना तो प्ले होटल था, बट वो डोमेन करीब 13 करोड़ रुपए का था. तो और यही नाम चाहिए था. सो वी सेड प्ले होटल लिख देते हैं. एंड वी प्लेड विद सबकॉन्शियस ब्रेन. रेड किया प्ले को और रिटर्न को ग्रे किया. सो व्हेनेवर यू सी प्ले होटल यू विल ऑलवेज से प्ले होटल. सो व्हाई वी डिड दिस? बिकॉज आई वॉज नॉन होटेलियर थ्रू आउट टाइम एंड रोज़ सुबह उस पर क्लीन शेव करके होटल जाता था. एंड आई यूज्ड टू फील लाइक कि मैंने एनडीए का एक बार एग्ज़ाम दिया था, सिलेक्शन हुआ नहीं बिकॉज जर्नल की मेरिट में 1% से रह गया था. एंड देन आई हैव नेवर गिवन एनी गवर्नमेंट एग्जाम. सो व्हेन आई यूज्ड टू गो, उस सुबह डिफेंस वाली फीलिंग आती थी. जब लेट हो जाते थे होटल पहुंचने में तो लगता था कि अभी तो बहुत दिक्कत होगी, जीएम खड़ा कर लेंगे. सो ऑल ऑफ दिस वाज देयर. एंड व्हेन आई बिकेम CRO, व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड रियलाइजिंग माई सैलरीज आर गुड, आई एम सिटिंग एज अ पोजिशन, I grew my beard and I was reporting to Mr. Rown. And he said, Prashant, why are you growing beard? ये तो मैंने कहा सर मुझे आप ये बताओ कि हाइट ने अंदाज में कोट क्यों हटा दिया, टाई क्यों हटा दी? There is a change, there is a future generation which is coming. And I don't want to feel like that because internally I feel I've lost a lot of things in my life while I was working for hospitality. I want to have tattoo. I want to have beard. And then I realized that entire corporate office changed. And today Rakshi Sharma is the HR head. He himself has a beard. Okay, so yeah, I think for you guys, for Gen Zs and everyone who's coming into this industry, things are getting very, very good now. I was staying in a service apartment right now in Gurgaon, and I was telling to that there are 24-year-old people running these apartments and then great branding. What a product! And future is about service apartment here in India because I don't know if you guys know or not, Accor has a brand called as Adagio which deals in apartment hotel. There is something called as apartment hotel already exists, and in India we have not. So that's going to come. So India में पहले या तो lodges होते या तो 5-star hotel होते. Now there is all different kind of accommodation. So yeah, I think advancement is happening and a lot of things will happen in this industry. We need to be very, very observant.
So how it is different from other hotels?
So the hotel is different because we made this for our thinking that this is what we do. So I have a tattoo, I work, but this is not typical stereotype businessman, and I'm not stereotype hotelier. So there is a lot of people which will be not stereotyped when you look at them when they did do a IT job. So I went to Kasol thinking that there will be a lot of leisure activities happening, but entire of the Himachal is full with people like you who are doing their job, work from home culture. They are in the entire of the Himachal Pradesh. I said, the future is going to be this. Earlier, अगर आप ताज होटल में आज से 20 साल पहले जाते तो आपकी एज 35 होनी चाहिए. रीज़न पता है क्यों? क्योंकि तब तक 35 साल के आदमी के पास ही इतना पैसा होता था वो ताज जा सके. But walking today, anyone who is at 21, 22 years of age are making a lot of money. So gender is not decided by age now. It is about how much per capita income you have to spend. So Clearton was for those people, and we wanted to create a business hotel which should have a vibe of very young and energetic people. So our target audience was you people, and anyone who is new, coming out of college, getting good salary, job. Those were the people that we targeted, and we did good. And the entire group was at 87% occupancy. We have a hotel now. I'm not a part of it, but Hotel Premier Vijayanagar, it is 48-room boutique hotel which does 97% occupancy and beats Saiji and Fairfield on ADR. Yeah.
Sir? Yeah, please.
Good morning, sir. My question is, how you came to open a big company for revenue management?
Because as I said, I was observant. While I was working, I realized why I'm getting paid so much. बाकी सबकी सैलरी क्यों कम है? Then the study came in and we understood that revenue managers are in scarcity. And then I've started studying this industry world completely, understanding like what I said in the video, there are 30 lakh rooms and only 3 lakhs are branded. So unsaturated market में unstructured बहुत कुछ होता है. आपको उसको structure करने में जैसे आप आओगे आपको पैसा मिलेगा. OYO did that, Fab did that, Trivo did that. So कोई भी होटल कंपनी नहीं है इंडिया में जिसने losses झेलें. No hotel company. And right now, just go on into Google and search the profit of Q2 of Lemon Tree, Oberoi's, Taj. Everyone is showing profit right now. Everyone. So there is a lot of money was there, and I realized this. And the only problem was to figure out what problem I can solve. And when I see 3-star, 4-star hotel, these are hotels which no brand will put aboard. So to have a Sarovar hotel, you should have minimum 65 room odd. But 50 कमरे का hotel को कोई brand नहीं मिलेगा. वो खुद चलाएगा to make money because he has came into the business. But he requires the support system, housekeeping, front office. He will hire people. He will also require a revenue manager, but he cannot hire because if you have to hire a revenue manager, it comes with a cost. With 48 rows, you will not be able to bear a cost. So yeah, that was neat. We created a company. It ran.
So if someone wants to part of the team, what you will just give the solution that the candidates will.
Okay, so this is a difficult question to answer. So I'll give you my observation to this. Every time there is an intern to take an interview, to give an interview, I personally take that interview. And जो भी experienced लोग आते हैं, उसको मेरी team interview करती है. Reason is that when you see someone's CV who has 5-10 years of experience, you know that this guy have done something right because he have done 5 years of job. You exactly know इसके पहले वो क्या करके आया है. But when you do a interview of intern, you don't know what he is capable of. And I'll tell you a real story right now. I have a guy in my office whose name is Akshay. He's 21-year-old. And he's been rejected by 5 of my teammates. And then I said, okay, I want to take his interview. I took his interview and I gave him access to my office. I said, listen, you don't have to report to anyone. You will report to me. And none of my directors, so I have 5 directors right now. I said, none of my directors will be interviewing in your work. I want you to find job for yourself in this office, because he was brilliant with the kind of thoughts that he gave me. Because he has no experience, but he wanted to explore, want to do things. And this is the guy who automated my entire process. So if I have to send a screenshot or to my client on WhatsApp, it goes automatic by system. At the time that I tell him, every day 9 p.m. you have to send the screenshot. System will do it. He's a Python coder and aspiring data scientist. So I have seen someone, just I mentioned that, future will be of data scientists for hotels as well. So you will see a lot of overlapping of different industry designations in different industries. So I remember मैंने कुछ 1.5 महीने पहले एक post किया था.
off-limit Kasol is also have 3-4 residences, and they are the first India hemp-infused cafe in Kasol. So I was just looking at the post and traveled a lot because of my clients. They posted that there is an opening for content creator, videographer, and copywriter. And then I posted things, and I've also tagged them that first time ever in my life I've seen such kind of opening for a hotel company. तो इसके पहले तो front office housekeeping लिखते थे. So yeah, I think these all things will make a lot of impact in hospitality altogether. So, do you want to get the elaboration on this answer? Wow.
Also, I would just to clear it.
Thank you.
Anyone?
So as a company does the revenue management, so when you figure out that a business is not going to be good for a hotel, so what is the approach for marketing?
So, see, I'll tell you. If you know that business is not going to be good, it's very clear that you communicate to the owner first. So if we have any client which gets into a summer season or non-seasonal time, we inform the hotel owner that you are going to expect less business. And then we work on costings and say that to sustain this business, what is the basic costing? So there is something called as fixed cost at hotel, and then there is something called as variable cost. So every time the hotel occupancy goes up, your HLP, which is your electricity, heat, power line, expense goes up. Every time there is high occupancy, toiletries will be requiring more. If in the low occupancy, toiletries come lagging. So when you know there's a low slack period, you work with the owners to understand what are the fixed costs. You adjust your room pricing, get aggressive in the market, cut down on the tiers. So like if you are a 5-star, 4-star hotel and you are leading into a low season, you will probably try to get a 3-star business to 4-star hotel as well. And that is called your strategy for summer season. We do that. And also when it comes to marketing, what we do of the off seasons are we create a lot of content because people are generally free, it is not high occupancy. And then we market it to the right set of areas where the hotel gets business. So suppose you have a hotel in Rajasthan, the right market is Gujarat for you. So this is for the whole 6 months that you do to penetrate. Whenever there's a season comes in, you have more visibility, you have reach out to more people, you will get more business. So off seasons is basically when hotels run on low occupancy. So there is an old saying that when there is a storm in the sea, fishermen prepare their net because जब ज़रूरत होगी तब बनाने की time नहीं मिलेगा. So when there's off seasons, you play with your fixed costs and make sure that you are still making profit, but on a lower side. But you're preparing it for YTD, which means जब season आएगा तो आप पहले से ज़्यादा कमाओ. Okay. So जब 5-star hotels में आपके पास ADR budget होता है और FPAR budget होता है, and if you know that you are behind the budget because of the slack season जो आपने expect किया तो उससे भी नीचे हो गया, then आप उसकी planning 6 महीने आगे विंडोज की करनी शुरू कर देते हो कि इसको cover कैसे करना. Say I'll tell you one thing for sure. If I have to give credit to anything, why I became successful in business, because I've done so much of hard work for 15 years. I will say job is necessity. You will not know how to hire people. You will not know the experience. You will not know how to handle stress. A lot of things. So I might say that I took 15 years of job to have a mindset to come out and do a business. You might take 5, but do jobs, take experience first. Otherwise, you will not only spoil your career. If you are not successful, you will spoil people's career who are going to trust you and work for you. So right now I have a responsibility of more than 150 people who are working for me. And trust me, you can't sleep with that. So you have to work hard every day for those people who show trust are working for you. So I think anyone who goes out and start a business should remember there is a lot of responsibility that comes with it. I remember this, I did a interview with the AZ founder and I said, sir, you have created a big company. This was a guy from Surat, from middle class family, created a company, sold it for 700 crores, probably 230 to 50 crores would be there in his bank account right now. And this company did for around 18 years with 60% profitability. Imagine the kind of money that he guy made. And I said, today, if you sit down and once an entrepreneur is always an entrepreneur, you will not go back and do something again. I said, Prashant, I would love to, but I'm afraid of taking responsibilities back. And this one line is a bigger line for you to understand that it's all about responsibility. You don't have to give up. You can't give up because there are other people who are relying on you. And to answer this to everyone, if you ask me which position I liked most, director or the chief revenue officer, for chief revenue officer, I had to prove myself for 15 years. Someone took my CV and said, okay, you work for 15 years, I will give you this salary and this designation. So I proved to got this designation. But for director, I'll tell you, I give 18,000 rupees to MCN, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, I'll become a director. So only designation that you have to prove later is director. आप कंपनी कल बना दो, बन जाएगी, पर डायरेक्टरशिप को प्रूव करने में सालों लग जाएंगे. Till the time I don't become bigger than this, you will say I'm a bad founder, I'm a bad director. But you will never say I'm a bad CRO because I've given 15 years and someone very senior to me took my interview and said, you are the right guy. So yes, do job first. 1 साल करो, 2 साल करो, मुझे नहीं पता. Depending on your IQ level, how much you can grab from industry, and there is lot many things to grab. मटेरियल मैनेजमेंट में काम करना है कर दो, सप्लाई चेन में काम करना है कर दो, रॉ मटेरियल्स में काम करना है, किचन इक्विपमेंट में काम करना है. देयर इज ह्यूज स्कोप. यू विल नॉट इमेजिन एक नए होटल बनने में कितने रुपए लगते हैं और उसमें से कितने वेंडर कितने रुपए बनाते हैं. सो देयर इज ह्यूज बिजनेस. बट फर्स्ट गेट इनटू होटल and learn the trade, take the experience and then come. Okay, so I have a crazy culture in office. I don't want to reveal it, but you have asked a pinpointed question. So I don't work on per year increment basis. And I have said that if I get an intern and if his ask is 10,000 rupees and I don't give you salary based on what you are going to do, I give you salary what you are capable of. So Akshay, the guy that I was talking about, he came in, he didn't know anything about hospitality. I gave him 10,000 rupees an internship. I said, you come here and work. Within 1.5 months of time, he did something such incredible that I gave him permanent employment and also increased the salary by 7,000 rupees. And my company is 1.5 years old, but maximum of the employees have raised their salary twice, because when you are new, when you are initially working, a lot of people work with you and they think this company is part of their, and they also know that this company is growing. They have seen us working from a co-working space to reaching to 120-seater office. So they know if I'm growing, they are growing. So they're putting their hard work. So salary doesn't come in between. And I'd say this right now, we should not be looking at this parameter at all. This is going to diminish in no time. I am the live example standing here with 7 years of working in hotel. I was taking higher salary than 35-year experience GM of Fairfield.
I constantly made sales things.
And so anything above 15,000 is our basic salary, and we don't go below that because we wanted to maintain a standard in the industry.
And the number of employees you said is 150?
Currently,
Yes, 150, but we have more 50 people working across the globe, not in India.
They are on your payroll? Pardon? They are on your payroll?
Yes, they all are on the payrolls.
And my second question is that you mentioned about that 150 hotels, even international, working with you. So what is the policy on MOU and fine that the data which they are providing you to be in the market, that it will not be stolen in the future, or that there will not be any sort of hacker can, steal the data from your company because it's very confidential.
We don't work on our company software, we work on third-party software. Every hotels work on third-party software, they never have their own software. So there is no data privacy comes in. The reason is, if I get an ID of Oprah and I am looking at your data, it is us looking at your data. We don't, unless you give access to someone else, your data is not going anywhere. And we do work on revenue management software. Most of the time, it is reports that goes to in, and this data is already with them. So we don't have our own cloud system where we give them. Unless we have our PMS and our channel manager and our booking engine, then probably this thing will come.
And this third party has been working with you since the starting, or you have changed anything? Pardon? This third party you mentioned, the software you're using for it, this, is there any change in terms of vendor, or the same party has been working with you since the
A third party means that every hotel that works and they have different party PMS. These are third parties. So hotel doesn't own any PMS. I don't own a PMS. PMS is owned by some other technology company. So that's the reason we call them third party. And we work with all the software that you use. If you come as a hotel, as a client for revenue management, say that I use Easy, fine. If you use Oprah, good. If you use IDS, I'm okay with that. So we work with all the softwares.
And my last question is that you mentioned about why the hotel is not able to upgrade the system. Okay, it's not basically the question of our discussion. I would like to know the feedback from your side. is like you said, the hotels are not able to upgrade the version of Opera that is still hanging between 5 to 6.
Yeah.
But in terms of mobile phones, in terms of products, we are somewhere around touching 15, 16. So is it about that they don't have the budget to increase that sort of version, or they need the people, they need to pay the higher salary to handle those sort of things? What do you see?
All these bigger brand have so much of budget that you and I can't imagine. So Marriott one guy spends almost $200 million in quarter for promoting football team. So these all of these they have a lot of budget. I will ask one. So if you have a small boat, it can steer easily. They have more than 7,000 hotels. If they decide tomorrow, let's change the Opera from some other cloud-based software, they have to change it for 7,000 hot hotels. They have to train more than 50,000 employees on the new software. And this is not easy to do. But I think technology can be built around it. Opera as a company will never do it. So I'll tell you that I've seen, and today also, when you go to railway station, we still get the platform ticket. The ladies or the gentleman who's sitting, he will press 2 button and this thing will come out. And they are still printing it through dot matrix because it is difficult to change the behavior of the people who are working on a job for 10, 15 years. And that is the reason every time when you guys get a CV from front office, there is written Opera, I know Protel. And I feel like that knowing the software is not skill because everyone knows Facebook, Instagram, how to run it. No one teaches it. These companies will also not change and the hotels cannot change. So I'll give you an example to answer this very nicely. Marsha is a software that is used in Marriott for reservations. I myself wrote the code because it is DOS system. If you have to make a reservation, you have to write the code. And when I opened the company, I used Easy. You can make a reservation on your mobile phone. So now just to imagine if there's a reservation guy who's on leave, no one in the hotel can operate Marsha if you don't know the codes. But Marriott realized this. Now they are building something as a UI and UX over Marsha, and Marsha will be always there in back because they cannot replace this. So SBI cannot change their system tomorrow, whatever goes.
So you mentioned hotels need to change their thought process that they need to upgrade themselves.
Of course.
There is some technical. You agree with this?
Yes, I do. So someone will come and beat you as a brand if they have this. So why Marriott is so big? They have so many brands. They are coming with a new brand called MDX, which is lower than Fairfield. Now it's a threat to entire Indian hospitality segment of entrepreneurs who are getting into a boutique hotel segment because they will take a lower segment than Fairfield as well. So they have more than 40 brands. आप एक होटल बना रहे हो सर 20 करोड़ का तो भी मैरिट के पास ब्रांड है लगाने के लिए 40 का है तो भी ब्रांड है मैरिट के पास लगाएंगे वो 200 करोड़ का तो भी है सो दे हैव एवरीथिंग दे टुक इट फॉर 100 ईयर ऑफ लेगेसी बट टेक्नोलॉजी में अगर कोई नई कंपनी आती है एंड दे आर वेल फंडेड they can beat in they can become an expert in 50 years. And there's a company in China which is doing it. I'll not take a name.
So I want to ask you that how do you work hand in hand with your PMS and with your third party PMS and the hotel PMS? Like how do you integrate both?
No. So see, I'll tell you, all these smaller hotels cannot afford price of Opera or IDS. They generally go on cloud-based solutions because they are cheap, effective, and give you a lot of data inside as well. So when they work with these PMS, all that they require is to give access to us. I can access a Saudi Arabia hotel sitting here on just I require an internet. So we do plug in our PMS. It is their PMS. We get access, and that's how we operate.
So you said to basically forecast the upcoming quarter, need data. So let's say you collected some data and according to that you created a basic or a forecast. Yes, but what if the trends that the data that we used to collect or provide that forecasting, if they go exactly opposite of what we planned, so what we do in that case?
See, it cannot happen that way. First. Second, it can only happen if there is a natural disaster, जो हिमाचल में हुआ. And at that point, आपके बॉस आपसे कुछ नहीं कहेंगे.
So your company, have you done anything different than other Latin American companies?
So you want to know the competition? Yeah, you guys are more smarter than I thought. Okay, anyways, so it is not a monopoly business. So when I wanted to start a business, because करने के लिए और कुछ नहीं था, I couldn't go back to job. एक business बना दिया था, and I was in hospital जब मेरा पहला business किया तो heart attack आया था मुझे. Yeah, good thing. So at that time ICU में 7 दिन था, मैंने सोचा क्या करना चाहिए. So in 7 days I realized that let's study this. और तब तक मेरा revenue management 2-4 client थे मेरे पास. I studied it. I said, how many companies are there? So there is one company called as Revenue Mix, which is my competition. Other one is Red Sky. Revenue Mix is run by the owner named Sainath, and he was the sales guy for Marriott, not a revenue back again. So I said, you are from sales. You are running a revenue management company for 8 years, good 8 years, and you still couldn't make big. So they are decent. They have office in Bangalore. They have one office in South Africa. But they were not getting much bigger what I thought. So this says that if a company survive for 8 years in an industry, which means industry is good, otherwise competition would have killed you. Okay. But for 8 years, you are not able to grow big, which means you are a bad founder. So this was the thought. There was a competition, but we did exactly what they didn't do. So we reached out to those countries where there was no revenue management. Saudi Arabia is currently building, they are investing almost $90 billion on 3 projects. One is the line, the other one is Muqab, and third one is the scarcity. So if you're very aware what is happening, so I believe in this. The history is getting written everywhere. You have to just find it, be there, you will make money. So Saudi Arabia will be 85 5-star hotels and by the next 5 years. And they are coming up with 3 lakh hotels. Because one thing on planet Earth will never increase, and that is land. कल सुबह एक नया land नहीं बनेगा. And all the countries knows that even if it is a desert or water, these all things will have to pay to the country. So they are utilizing the desert for their benefit, and they are creating the cities. So I opened up the office in Saudi Arabia. Now when you go on Google, write revenue management company in Saudi Arabia, it is Retvens, because there is none. So I am not getting much of business right now from Saudi Arabia, but on 1st of August when you open the office, we have signed 1,000 hotels in Saudi Arabia. That will generate 2 crore rupees se bhi zyada ka amount per month, and this is not paid by hotel, this is paid by government of Saudi Arabia. So we call it King Saudi Arabia Tourism SAT. We have office there. जब ये 3 लाख होटल खोलेंगे, इन्हें रेवेन्यू मैनेजमेंट की जरूरत पड़ेगी. पूरे कंट्री में एक ही कंपनी है मेरी है.
In future, are you going to cover more services?
We are doing it. So our own जो दिख रहा है, this is a tech. I think I will be sitting in a funding race or funding round next week. I have a meeting with Janan sir. I don't know if I take the funding or not, but that is going to happen. There is a company called Janan. Just go out, do a Google. You will find that they are taking over all the hospitality in the world. They have created a cloud only for hospitality. They purchased Easy last month. They purchased Inky PMS. They have purchased a PMS company in North America. They have purchased a hotel revenue management company in South Africa. They are doing all of this, and they are now planning to invest in our company. So what you said different. I was just aware that when there was a war happening between Russia and Ukraine, then we realized European Union is not a union because no one said anything. And then Brexit happened. Entire European Union said England will suffer. Look where England is. Rishi Sunak. Everyone know Rishi Sunak. मेरे को बुल्गारिया के प्राइम मिनिस्टर का नाम बता सकता है कोई नहीं. यूक्रेन के प्राइम मिनिस्टर का नाम सबको पता होगा बिकॉज ऑफ द वॉर. और किसी भी यूरोपियन कंट्री का प्राइम मिनिस्टर का नाम मालूम नहीं मालूम है ना. नहीं मालूम होगा. द रीजन इज दे आर नॉट फेमस. Who is famous? Rishi Sunak. Did you know Cisco has opened office in England? Google is moving into England. They have made the country very, very familiar and favorable for IT companies. And now European Union will sell. So पहले ट्रैवल एजेंट के पास जब आप जाते थे तो आपको बताता था यूरोप घूमने जाना. अब थोड़े दिनों बाद यूरोप घूमने के बजाय आप वो कंट्रीज़ घूमोगे. अब वो कंट्रीज़ टूरिज्म पे स्पेंड करेंगे. पहले यूरोपियन यूनियन स्पेंड करता था. नाउ दिस कंट्रीज विल नो मोर ए यूनियन. दे विल स्पेंड इस इंडिविजुअल. While the war was on, we opened the office in Hungary, Budapest, which is the party capital of Europe. Now I'm not getting any business again. Wait for the time. Bhutan, we just came into Bhutan. Again, there is no revenue management company. And Bhutan tourism is struggling. We are talking to government. Probably we can get our Bhutan tourism promotion for India as well. So just look around. There is a huge scope.